and now we're going to go back to streaming and friends, and let's talk the Snowgirl. So, Holly, ¿cómo está?
So, The Snowgirl is I would say, detective series of sorts, a Spanish series, which was first, series one came out in 2023. I did not watch it at the time. There is now a series two, which I am watching, but I've successfully binged all of it. The first series begins I think it's probably a January 6th parade in Malaga, where there's a Three Kings procession, and a little girl is there with her parents,
Sorry,
and she
Holly, could you just
disappears.
explain January 6th? Because when I hear January 6th nowadays, I think something totally different
Ah,
to
Epiphany,
Spain.
Epiphany. Yes, it is an Epiphany parade.
Okay, so Epiphany Parade, a
Parade.
local Spanish parade.
Parade.
It's
Um,
not a satellite raid
It
to the
is not a
capital.
yeah, no, there is no concern. Nobody is trying to overthrow anything in Malaga unless you
There's
think
no
that the Three
QAnon
Kings were
shaman.
no QAnon shaman, just
Okay, good.
representations of some nice men who don't want to talk to Herod again.
Okay.
Um, so uh, this little girl who is there with her parents, her father, can't remember what she does. Her mother is a fertility doctor, and the little girl goes missing. And obviously, everybody starts frantically looking for her. You have a parallel story with a young woman who is a journalism student who gets drawn into looking at the case. Um, some years later, I think it's 3 years later, um, she receives a video of the little girl playing with a doll's house, showing that she is alive. And you then proceed to have a series of 6 episodes moving between the original point in the story, 3 years later and 6 years later,
Okay.
as this journalist who, as she gets older, becomes drawn into having to find out what's happened to this little girl who, seems to still be alive, and at the same time is addressing her own past trauma, having been, uh, I want to say sexually assaulted, I want to say date raped, but she had been drugged
Yeah.
and had gone through the trauma of this, and how these things align. Along with the police investigating as well, and her dealing with how she feels about what happened to her, the role of the police, how the families unfold.
Is it a bit like is it like it sounds like a slightly different take on a cold case kind of
Yes,
drama.
yeah, yeah, very
Cold
much
case
so. So
detective
it's
drama.
a so it is it's a cold case, except it's a cold case that warms itself up again, if
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
So it's not a we must dig out this former event. It's this former event brings it back to our attention, though
Okay.
obviously the parents have never stopped looking, and nobody stopped looking for the little girl.
Yeah.
But what do you do when, in a certain sense? But so you see the investigations at different points, but both when she first goes missing, to the midpoint and to the end point, and the different characters and how they come together. I have to say it's a really very well done series. I watched it dubbed, which is, and with subtitles to deal with things that were on screen, which I know is lazy viewing, and I would be better just doing subtitles. But it is, you know, for convenience. But it's really well done. I mean, I didn't know any of the cast, but that's a failure of mine, not a failure of theirs. And it was a really good watch, and I'm enjoying series two as well, which I will revert on once I have seen all of it,
Oh, okay. Hang on.
which is a
It's
separate case.
okay. Good. Good.
Yes, it's
That was
okay.
good.
Series one predominantly closes itself out. Not
Because
entirely, but enough that you're okay and you're not going, "Ah,"
okay.
which is my usual response to things that are split into multiple parts.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Uh, okay, first of all, how many stars would you give this?
I give it four.
Four. Okay, cool. Four stars for the Snow Girl.